The atmosphere is so alive. There was no rigid script, no far-fetched opening, everything seemed natural. It was as if 7 boys who had been separated by time and duty were now sitting together in one room, sharing laughter and tears with their fans scattered all over the world. Jimin, who was sitting in the middle, had a long sigh and looked at the camera with reddened eyes. "I don't know what to say, it feels like a dream. But this is real. We're back," he said softly, smiling weakly. Jungkook, who was sitting next to her, grabbed her shoulder and patted her gently. His hands trembled slightly and his eyes continued to look down, trying to hide the slowly flowing tears. The army knows this is no ordinary cry. This is the cry of a singer who has been holding back longing, holding back the spirit, and waiting for this day so patiently. A cry that represents millions of unspoken voices. It lasted more than an hour. But for the army, time seemed to stop. Every second is so precious. RM raised the microphone and began to read letters from the army. Some of the letters are from 2023 and 2024, a time when BTS was serving military service. It's so touching. There was a letter from an army man who wrote that he was in a deep depression and could only survive by listening to the song Magic Shop. There is also a letter from a boy in Brazil who every night sleeps staring at a photo of J-Hope because he considers him his own brother. While reading the letter, the initially cheerful J-Hope suddenly fell silent. He closed his mouth and looked down, trying to catch his breath. "I didn't know we meant that much," he said. "But now I understand why we have to go back." Suga, who has been known as the most reserved and logical figure, was precisely one of the most emotional of the night. He told of his experiences in the military, how every night he looked up at the sky and asked himself if the army was still waiting for them. "I think they will forget us." "I was wrong," he said softly. One by one they began to open personal stories. Jimin, who has now become the most mature man in the group, tells of how his days in the military were colored by a dream that was always the same, the dream of standing on a stage with his 6 brothers and seeing thousands of purple seas from above. "I know we'll be back. I know, even when everything seems far away, that hope is still there." Jungkook then picked up a small guitar and began to pluck the strings slowly. He sang "Still With You" with acoustic arrangements. No need for full musical accompaniment. His voice was enough to make the whole world fall silent. Even V, who sat not far from him, could only stare with a proud expression and teary eyes. When the song was over, Army flooded the live chat with thousands of purple emojis and the phrase, "We are proud of you." Jungkook bowed for a long time, then raised his head with a big smile. "I was afraid this day would never come. But now you're here. We're here. And everything feels like home." They also opened a special box containing things stored before the draft, an old photo of the time in the hostel, a friendship necklace made by V, and a letter from RM written on the last night before departure for the military. The moment of opening the box brought a deep silence. No one's talking. Their faces said it all. Jimin holding one of their photos in 2015 when they first one day sang. He stared at the picture for a long time, then said, "We grew up in front of you. We learned to fall and rise with you. Now we're back. Not to repeat the past, but to create the future." V added, "And the future will be even more beautiful because we already know what it means to lose." The warmth that flowed that night was so real. Although BTS sits in a simple studio, Army feels their presence as if in their own living room. Live is not about promotion. It's not about a comeback album. This is about love, about promises that are never forgotten, about a bond that goes beyond words. In the middle of the live session, suddenly a notification from RM was heard. He opens the phone and shows it to the camera. As it turned out, the South Korean president tweeted congratulations on the BTS reunion and thanked them for their contributions during their military service. RM read it out loud and the members chuckled. "Well, even the president is watching us now." Army in various parts of the world held a joint watch. In Jakarta, Seoul, Manila, to New York, big screens showed the live. Screams, cries, and hugs become one. Even in some places, fans appeared to carry light sticks with ribbons that read, "Welcome home BTS." As time ran out, RM asked the camera, "Do you want us to go back on stage?" Army answers flooded the screen, and in unison, the 7 members said, "Then, let's get ready. Because we will stand before you again." Life was over, but everyone's hearts were just beginning to open. A message appears at the end of the screen, ****. This is not the end. This is the beginning of everything. See you on stage. BTS and Army forever together. Tears broke out. Not because of separation, but because of gratitude that is too deep. That day, the world again recognized the meaning of love, the meaning of waiting, and the meaning of family formed not from blood, but from hope, music, and loyalty. And when the screen goes dark, one last sound is heard, Borahi. That Borahi sound came from Jimin. Slow, gentle, but powerful. His speech was not just a farewell greeting, but a declaration of love unshakable by time. The camera pans closer to his face. Jimin's eyes were still teary, but now his smile was calmer. His hand formed a heart, and like an echo, the other 6 members also raised their hands, welcoming the love with the same gesture. The members did not immediately stand up. They remained to sit together in warm silence, allowing emotions to flow freely. RM looks busy writing something on a small notepad that he always carries, whether it's poetry or the lyrics of a new song. V rested his head on Suga's shoulder, and Suga simply patted V's arm softly, speechless, but fully understood. J-Hope turned to the camera and said in a calm voice, "I hope you feel at peace tonight. Because we're so peaceful to see you again." A few minutes later, one small voice was heard, not from a BTS member, but from a staff member behind the camera. "Hyung, do you want us to end it now?" asked the staff. But Jungkook, in his trademark spoiled tone, immediately replied, "Anio, in a moment. Let us stay a little longer." Army also wrote in the comments, "Don't go yet, you can sit still and it's okay, as long as you're with us, we can even watch you sleep." Laughter broke out from the members reading the comment. Jin even pretended to be lying on a chair while closing his eyes to a boisterous welcome from the fans. Soon, however, the mood began to change again. Jimin suddenly stood up and said in a slightly trembling voice, "May I say something? It's something I've been holding on to for a long time." The other 6 members immediately looked at him seriously. The army that was watching began to hold their breath. Jimin stepped forward closer to the camera as if he were speaking directly to the millions of fans who were staring at him from the screen. While in the military, there were tough nights. Very heavy. I used to be scared. Fear of not being able to go back to the way it was. Fear of not being able to meet your expectations. But every time I almost gave up, I remembered one thing, you guys." He took a deep breath, his eyes began to glaze over again. "Army, you're not just fans. You guys are home. You are the reason we can smile again tonight." The sentence triggered an emotional reaction from other members. Jungkook covered his face with both hands. Suga looked at Jimin for a long time, then lowered his head. V seemed like he wanted to say something, but ended up just staring at the ceiling of the studio, and then, spontaneously, Jimin opened the jacket he was wearing, showing a black t-shirt with the words "For Army** on the left chest. One by one, BTS members took off their jackets, and it turned out that all wore t-shirts with the same inscription. That evening, they really prepared something simple but shaking emotions. Army again wrote, "We will always be there. Forever. Whatever you do, we're here. Thank you for holding on."